Hi, my name is Dan Griffin, and I'm a professional jazz guitarist. And I'd like to give you some of my insight today as to how I approach playing over the tune Giant Steps. I know this tune can be a little intimidating to some musicians. I don't really know why. I think part of it is the name, like Giant Steps. Wow. Okay, but this tune doesn't have to be any harder than any other tune. It's just a matter of how you approach it. I think one of the things that makes it difficult for people is they like to approach it the way Coltrane approached it, which was playing over each chord individually, which is, yeah, if you approach it that way, it can be tough, especially for guitar. It just, the tritonic effect just doesn't lay well on this instrument. I don't know how it lays on other instruments. I can't imagine that it's easy, but on this thing, it's not easy at all. So, I'd like to give you some of my insight as to how I approach this tune. The hard part of this tune, is the first part, the tritonic part, where you've got B major 7, D7, G major 7, B flat 7 to E flat major 7. Now, the way most musicians approach this, they approach it, like I said, the way Coltrane did, individually. Here you've got the 1 of B major, the 5 of G major, the 1 of G major, the 5 of E flat major, and the 1 of E flat major. Okay? That's one way to look at it, and of course it's a legitimate way to look at it, and it's the most obvious way to look at it. But there's another way to look at it that makes it easier to play over. Okay? And that's using some subs for these chords. The first one I'd like to show you, okay, for B major 7, what do we got? Okay, what's the most obvious sub for that? Well, obviously it's the relative minor, G sharp minor. But there's another one, the tonality of the third, which is D sharp minor, okay? Specifically D sharp flat 6, which makes this a ninth chord. But anyway, it's still B major, right? Very close, just B major first inversion. To the second chord, D7, what's the first sub you think of when you think of a 7th chord? I mean, they're wild cards, but the first thing is a tritone, right? A flat 7 flat 5. So what you've got is, if you look at it this way, you've got D sharp minor 7 flat 6, or D sharp minor 7. Let's just call it E flat, okay? We're dealing with jazz. Nobody likes sharp keys in jazz, so this is E flat minor, okay? E flat minor, A flat 7 flat 5. Whoa, what are we dealing with here? That's a 2-5 in D flat, guys. That's all it is, okay? So for the first two chords of Giant Steps, instead of going, you can go. It's a 2-5 in D flat, okay? Now, when it goes to G, to B flat, okay, we apply the same thing. We just think of the tonality of the third of G, which is B minor, to the tritone sub of B flat, which is E. So here we've got a 2-5 in A. So the first part of this tune we can approach as basically 2 5s. And if you approach it like that, it makes it a lot easier to deal with. Anyway, getting a little ahead of myself. But anyway, what I mean to show here is that you don't have to play over each chord of this tune to make it sound right. Okay? If you approach it like this, it'll work. It'll sound jazzy. You'll be able to grab whatever you can grab in those keys, and it'll work. So one of the ways I approach it, I still play over each chord, and there's a lot of different ways to approach so many tunes, but this one really works, okay, for Giant Steps. It's a great way to get your feet wet on this tune if you're intimidated by it. So, and I advise you to try it because it works. Basically a 2-5 in D flat, a 2-5 in A, and then you go up a half step when it gets to the E flat. So you got, okay? I'm sorry I don't have any backing tracks or anything to back me up on this, but take my word for it, it works. So you got a 2-5 in D flat, 2-5 in A, and you go up a half step to the E flat. When it gets to this part, you basically play a 2-5 in A, and then a 2-5 in F, and then up a half step. Okay, so you got, why a 2-5 in A? Because it starts on G, tonality of the third. Okay, then it goes to E flat, tonality of third of that is G minor. So, and then to B. So if you approach this section of the tune as 2 5s instead of individual harmonies, it works a lot better. At least it lays a lot easier. So that's one way to approach the first part of this tune. Now the second part of the tune's a lot easier because it's just 2 5 1s. Okay? But if that's intimidating to you, here's a little trick that you can use that'll make it lie a lot easier. The first chord of that second part is obviously a 2 of E flat, so it's F minor, right? If you start on F minor and play a little F minor lick for 1 bar, and then slide up a whole step for 1 bar, minors, and then continue doing that, each bar, a minor lick, it'll work. You'll get okay? So to recap, basically, over giant steps over the first part, you can play a 2-5 line in D flat to a 2-5 line in A, and then up a half step, okay? Which, if you're thinking of 2 5s, you know, on guitar we have a tendency to kind of think like Martino used to think, where everything's minor. It's basically E flat minor, B minor, C minor. Okay, it'll work. Over the second part, where it's B minor, G minor, A flat minor. Okay, and the second part, start on F minor, 1 bar, G minor, 1 bar, A minor, 1 bar, B minor, 1 bar, C sharp minor, 1 bar, D sharp minor, 1 bar, F minor, 1 bar, G minor, 1 bar, and then you're back to the top. Anyway, and another cool thing about using this 2-5 approach is you get to throw in all of that continuity of line bird stuff, like anyway, I hope this takes some of the mystery and the intimidation factor out of giant steps, because it doesn't have to be that hard. And I hope you have fun playing it. So you guys take it easy and keep swinging. Bye.